Hi guys, Cam back here at the Battler workshop. I thought I'd just do a little stop and prop just to go through some workshop updates and a few little jobs I want to do when we're completed with the lathe slotter, and that's coming to an end. I'm sort of hoping to wind it up in the next 3 weeks if I get a good run of it. Work's starting to build up a bit more now, so there's a few more issues around that that's sort of holding me back from getting back in the workshop. But plan is to try and get that knocked over as soon as I can. I got a little job, one of my workmates, he builds high-end speaker systems. He's got a fantastic stereo system set up at home. He's got these little button supports that go underneath one of his hi-fi units. I've got to make up 4 of those out of a bit of stainless stock, so we're going to be doing that one next. And my old Hercus Vice, I'll bring it up a bit closer, you can have a look at some of the issues we've got. These Hercus Vices, Hercus was a South Australian company based in Adelaide. They made a lot of machine tools and machines. They built lathes, they built milling machines, they built tool and cutter grinders, they built all sorts of small end style machines. Any kid who went to a technical school here in Australia would have worked on a Hercus lathe. They were very similar to the Myfords and the Boxfords, but very, very old traditional company. They did get into CNC stuff. They did their Copycon Hercus lathes, CNC lathes, run by an Anchor 2000 controller, just doing straight G-code. But I don't think they're around anymore. Someone might know a little bit more about it than I do, but I don't think Hercus are around anymore these days. I've got a little rotary device that I picked up on eBay fairly cheap. I've got some work I want to do on that, but we'll bring you up fairly close. And outside I've got an old offset 5-inch Dawn vise that I'm going to do a restoration on. And well, I'll see if it's worth doing the restoration on. It's pretty roached. It's seen better days, so we'll have a look at that. There's a lot of guys doing vise restorations on YouTube at the moment. I noticed Adam Booth has just finished one in his workshop, so maybe another vise restoration we'll have a look at. This one's going to have an awful lot more work, or require a lot more work to it than the one that Adam's just done up. So we'll have a look at that as well. But I'll bring you up a bit closer. We'll go through some of the stuff here we've got on the table and what we're going to do. Alright guys, this is my poor old venerable Hercus Vice, and as you can see, she's got quite a lot of slop in her. I don't think there's a removable nut in here. I'll find out more when I strip it down, but I think the nut is an integral part of the body. So we may be doing a bore out of that and then putting a sleeve nut back into that. But we're going to be making up a new screw and a new nut for the inside of him. So we're going to give that a good birthday. We'll deal with the gibs and we'll get them all tidied up as well. This is the indexing device that I picked up off eBay really cheap. It's got a 24 geared indexer in the back there. I want to remake up a new spindle and nose for this, so I can put ER collets on this, or I can put a 3-jaw chuck on it. It looks like a really well-made unit. Just needs a good birthday and a restoration. As I said, a few updates on it to make it more usable in the workshop. So we'll give that a birthday and do a complete makeover on this little bloke as well. So it should be an interesting one. I like having these little indexing units. They're very quick and easy to set up. No weight in the things. Set up on the table if you want to index, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 with a 24 indexer. And it looks like possibly that indexer may come out and you can remove that locking nut and put another indexer on there. So we may look at making up a couple of series of these as well. We'll see how we're going anyway. But yeah, we'll give that a birthday as well. Just up a bit closer, that's button foot that we're going to make up. As I said, we're going to be making up out of a bit of stainless. It's down to 50mm. I've got a bit of 2-inch stock here, so we've got a mill and a bit to come off. So we'll get that sorted out, and I'm planning on cutting these up in the bandsaw before I actually start machining them up. I'll machine up the soft jaw so I can slip them in and I can face them, do the 45 and then face the back. So that'll be our next little job we're going to do. Alright, I'll take you outside and we're going to look at this poor old Dawn vise that's seen better days. and you'll have a look at what the condition is and what we've got to start with. Alright guys, better bring this inside. It's blowing an absolute gale outside, and all you can hear is wind rushing through the microphone on this camera. Alright, this is the Dawn vise. It's a 125, which is a 5-inch jaw size. As you can see, it's had better days. It's got grind marks, it's got stick marks from welders, it's got spatter all over it. It's got a fair bit of rust on it. It's how on earth someone to get a grinder down there and do that, I don't know. It's, they have. It's, yeah, she's got gouge marks out all over it. The jaws don't look like they're in too bad a condition, but I'm thinking of making up my own jaws and knurling them in the milling machine. Just a concept I've got on how I would go about knurling. It's not cutting, it will be straight knurling with a knurling tool in the milling machine. So we'll see how they look. I certainly want to re-machine the beds on these as well, where they recess in. They're pretty badly nailed out as well. Yeah, where people get grinders into them and things get stuffed up. But yeah, so we'll give this a birthday. The biggest issue I've got on this is the nut and screw. Some spots there it's 3 turns before it actually starts. There it goes, now it's moving. Feel it for it. So it will certainly need a new screw and a new nut inside. So we'll certainly be machining those up, but what I'll do is I'll strip it down and get it cleaned up, and we'll see what we can salvage out of it and whether we can make something new out of it. Just some of these areas here are absolutely atrocious, but we'll see what we can do with the old girl. Yeah, it hasn't been well treated, badly mistreated. Alright, so that's a little project I've got coming up in the very near future as well, to give that a full refurbish. Alright guys, the last thing I probably want to have a look at is the saddle nut and screw on my high power lathe. So there's a little bit of backlash there at the moment. The nut design on his to take out backlash is basically a saw cut through the nut and a socket-headed cap screw that you screw up to actually upset the threads in the nut to take out the backlash. Not the greatest design in the world. I'll have a look and see if I can do a redesign on that, but there's not a lot of envelope room in there to do too much. It would be ideal to have a 2-split nut to do that, but we'll have a look and see what we can do in there to what we've got to work with. But certainly making up a new screw for this. That's another job we're going to be having a look at as well. There's a little bit in this one too, so basically what I'm going to be doing is stripping it down, measuring it all up, putting it back together, and then using the lathe to machine the new nut and spindle, and then strip it down and put those new machine components back into this bloke. So I think from memory it's I think it's a 5/8 diameter shaft or Acme thread that's in there. I'm not too sure of the TPI on that. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of machining in that one. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next vid when we start making these little stainless steel buttons up for one of the boys at work.